Yo, what's good, everybody? As you know, we back for another edition of ALGO'S Take. It's your boy Algo Bailey. I'm joined by my man Golden State Bull, aka GS, and we just gonna get it in, man. We had a late night charting session. We like this is this is one of those red alert moments where we just want to be prepared for the week. So, I got some tickers that I'm looking at just based on our TTM algo that I've created. So, just to get in the present mode real quick. All right. So what we're talking through right now is ALGO'S TTM ULTISNIPE. If you're one of the members of our Discord, you may or may not have found this scanner and been able to take advantage of it. But I like this scanner for multiple reasons. It's come up with some things that I just can't ignore. And so I'm going to talk through some of these with my boy GS. We're going to see if there's any, plays that we can come up with that might give us an edge in the market and just allow us to play for maximum profits. So, as you guys know, we want you to come snipe with us. So you can do that in a couple different ways. One, join me at Salute Sir. You'll find me on Twitter with that handle. We got 50% off ALGO'S All Things Trading right now. So if you want to have a one-on-one with me and just chop shop, we can do that. You guys know me. I'm all about my edges and, helping you refine yours. Next up, please, join us at Option Snipers as well. You can type this handle into any social media and you'll find us. We've been featured on Shade Room, NBC, Fox, all kind of places. But we have a trading academy that you should definitely be a part of. And you can really find that through at Option Snipers. All right, so let's get into it, man. Really what these plays consist of is a couple different things. One is Ttm Squeeze. GS, you pretty familiar with Ttm Squeeze? You use it in your trading?
Oh, yes, sir. All the time. It's a staple.
Right. And in the Snipers Academy Plus, we have full modules on the Ttm Squeeze. Really what it is, it's an indicator that looks at the relationship between the Bollinger Bands and Kettler channels. It helps you identify consolidations and signals when prices are likely to break out. Right. So it tells you when things are consolidating and tells you when things have the potential to break out. And usually not always, if they break out after a TTM squeeze or a consolidation, it tends to have momentum to move in that direction. Next up that the TTM ULTISNIPE looks at is your volume increase. Volume measures the number of shares traded in a stock or contracts in futures or options. Volume can be an indicator of market strength, as rising markets on increasing volume are typically viewed as strong and healthy. When price falls on increasing volume, the trend is gathering strength to the downside. In these cases, what we're seeing here is TTM is starting to lose bearish momentum, right? And for those that know TTM Squeeze, usually that comes in the form of yellow candles, right? So they're like the bearish momentum is fading. And we're seeing volume increases while it's fading, right? So usually what this can point to is a breakout move where market makers position themselves while things still look bearish on the outside. Meanwhile, they're setting up to move in the opposite direction. So that's what this algorithm looks for. And then really what we look for is plays to take price action to or through. So what I mean, this is the art of taking price action to a level of support or resistance. The key is to take profit on most of the position at the perceived level of support or resistance. And then what we do with that is we leave runners to capture the full move upon continuation, aka a breakout. So all of these are early moves. So everything we're going to review right now, it might not pop off today, might not pop off tomorrow, but we're seeing that bearish momentum is fading. And so there's a chance that, these things can break out of the consolidation that they have in the direction that we're looking for. And so just to make sure all this is clear, GS, you see the prerequisites for this algorithm?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So now we're gonna take that framing, I guess we'll call it. We're gonna look at a couple tickers. The first one I have is Unity software. Now, for me personally, I'm not big on trading on P&L. I don't care about debt. I don't care about any of that. I care about price action, and all of my algorithms are trained to pick up on price action. And when there might be a shift in momentum or heavy momentum in a certain direction. So we'll see here. We have a couple different indicators on here that we want to go over real quick, just so you guys see my point of reference as I go through these tickers. The first one, of course, is going to be price action. So we're going to be looking at the chart as a whole. Secondly, I do have RSI up. I love RSI. I have really a newfound respect for RSI. It's just taught me a lot about being able to predict price action and things like that. It's actually utilized in a lot of my trading now. And then lastly is our Ttm Squeeze, which is really what this indicator is based on, which is telling us that, if we're in a consolidation phase, potentially a breakout phase, this will tell us all those things. So GS, you see our chart right here?
Yep.
All right, cool. We're on a weekly chart with you. What do you notice right off the bat?
I'm noticing inverse head and shoulders and a good looking H base and a very big volume profile shelf.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's not forget volume profile.
Yeah. Super big volume profile shelf.
Right. And I agree with you right there. Right. I see this. We definitely have a head and shoulders type formation forming up here. Right. With the potential to break these levels. Test that 110 level. And that break of a 110 looks really solid right here, just because we have the volume shelf. Right. We've proven that we really don't want to go level or go lower than these levels right here. Just with these, shoulders and neck and head that we formed. So yeah, inverse head and shoulders definitely active here. So you guys, when I'm doing my technical analysis, a lot of times I want to look at the macro charts. So you see I'm starting here on a weekly chart. And then usually what I'll do, I like to get my price level tool. And I like to see, okay, on weekly, do we have different levels of support or resistance? And usually I'll dictate that by, the price action touching different levels on the candlesticks. And so I try and keep my cursor as far left as possible. You hasn't been trading that long. And so, it's not a huge chart here, but we can definitely see, right, there's a level where we have a wick that stopped here, a wick that, opened here, a wick that closed here, or sorry, candle that closed here, candle that closed there too, right? So this level that we have previously marked around 110 is definitely really relevant right now if we're looking for a bullish move. Of course, safest levels, we're just going to try and do the same on a weekly chart, see where things maybe have moved in one direction or another. So we can definitely see at this level right here around that 119, price resisted it, but when it got over, ignited. When it got under, ignited, right? So I like this 119 level as well. 128. Right, and we're just going through the chart. Boom, this level right here. Yeah, about 150. Right, but there's a lot of upside in this move, potentially, if it can round about some of these levels, which we might be seeing, coming to fruition right now. So let's move on to a daily chart now. See if that confirms itself. Yeah, so we definitely have our inverse head and shoulders, that kind of a look. Now, this is the market, so you can't expect everything to be perfect, but we can definitely see shoulder type move right here, head type move here, and then rounding out another shoulder here. right? So, we've seen that on the weekly chart where it looked like those kind of formations were coming about. And then we moved in on a daily, and we can definitely see that, some of our levels come into play. Now we'll see this trigger right here. What number is that? Let me get out of an annotation real quick so I can see that. Boom, 115.50. Right. So we'll definitely want to mark a level there. And so you'll see we started from a macro kind of perspective, and then we moved to a little bit more of a micro perspective as we went on the daily. We also see a potential gap fill right here at this level. It's not very big, it's 113 and 115, but our inverse head and shoulders definitely, is in the play here. Okay, so one thing we like to do with inverse head and shoulders, I like to do two things. One, I like to find out how much a shoulder is worth, right? So in this case, a shoulder would be from about this level here, right, to our neckline, which is right about here. Right. So how much is a shoulder worth in this kind of a play? Right. And so when I talk about to or through, or being able to take things to a level and then potentially take them through, this is kind of what I mean. So, right, if we drew a price level right here, which is where a shoulder pretty much rounded out each time, that's about 92 to 110. So 92, 102, 110, what is that, 18 points?
Yep.
Okay, so from 110, what's 18? 128? I would draw a level, but what happened at 128? We already got a level at 128. We found that level from 128 on the weekly chart. Right? So you guys can see how, okay, right? Conservatively speaking, if this broke to the upside, right, about 18 points from 110, boom, about 128, that's reasonable, right? So this could easily be potentially a profit target that I have to get out of this position, right? To where if it breaks this 110 level, right, I'll take it potentially to this 128 level. And of course, making sure I have, enough time to let it travel there in my contracts. But this is just a piece of technical analysis that I like to use a lot. All right. So next up, let's talk about our neckline, right? And to our head, right? So our head's around 76 to that neckline, which is what, 110? Yeah, right around right here. And actually, let's call it, 110 to 115 area. But let's call it 110 since we've been using that as reference. So 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. What was that, 34 points? All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
20, 30, 40, and we have a level 149. What did I say, 145? If it was that many points, right? So this zone right here is a max potential target as far as what this move could do, right? So we have two potential plays here. We have the 2, right, which is a break of 110, taking it to around 128 level, and then potential through, which could take you into the 145, 149 area. And that's just based on a measured move from identifying an inverse head and shoulders. Okay, so I love this kind of thing. I know I had you doing some scouting on our potential contracts for this. What do you see on you?
Oh man, it's loaded, bro. There's a lot of activity going on in this chain. From 110 basically all the way down to 175. There are bits and pieces just on the 110 calls 5600 OI. That's the most expensive one because it's right on the money. But if you want to go safe, then this is a relatively safe play because it's been H basing for a minute. We got the inverse head and shoulders. This one's at 420, and the high of this contract was $61 back in back in January.
Okay. So that,
61.2.
the strike price on that is what?
That's the 110 strike. So like
That's
right
just
at the money.
10. All right. Let me see if I can get these up. Hold on. Let me bring up my TOS. And let me get rid of these annotations. All right, cool. Almost there. All right. Why is it still trying to annotate? Stop playing. There we go. Mouse. Okay. All right. So. All right. So what contract were you seeing? So these are man, I like this. So it's August 20th. So it gives us some time on them. Yeah, I see what you mean. 5K open interest. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with the 120 call. That one's got 3,500 OI, and that one's at 170 right now. So that one's super cheap.
That's a sweet spot right there.
Yeah,
and look at the spread on it. 5-cent spread. That looks real nice.
5 cents.
And of course, you know me, bro. So anytime I see these things right here, right, where you have open interest of 4K, way out the money. This is way at 175.
Yeah, that was the next one I was gonna say. The 175.
Yeah, that is right. That's interesting, right? We like to follow the whales where I come from, and if whales are right, if whales are layering in out the money, right? This is a 5-cent contract. This is $5, right? So these are those contracts that are stacked up to where if this moves upwards, right, when these start coming into the money, the out the monies wake up and they become, things like 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. And so that's a very interesting contract as far as you goes. Any further contracts, or actually, you know what, let's focus on these 820s. Yeah, because these are imminent moves, right? We see our TTM. Sorry, let me bring this chart back up. Boom. So we see our TTM starting to lose bearishness on the daily, and we already saw it on the weekly starting to lose bearishness. Right, we have a level right here for a neckline between 110 and 115. That could open up, the 130s almost, 145s, 150 ranges. A slight gap right here. Also, I'm just noticing between 140 and 140 and almost 150, 140 and 147. Right, huge gap right here. So yeah, this could be gravity. Nice volume shelf, bro. This is nice. So I like the triggers between 110 and 115. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, that's the sweet spot right there for sure.
All right.
Every strike on that August on the August 20 chain from 110 all the way to 140, every strike has over 1,500 OI. So that's
how you know it's real, right? That's how you know there might be something really, really brewing up in those chains. People are betting on something bullish to happen.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next up, I got MDB. Mongo database. All right, so let's look at this. Let's start it on the weekly chart as well, because y'all know I like to get my macro levels going. All right, so as we can see, had a bullish move, moved into, some people would call this a double bottom right here around this 260 level. Even though we got wicks and pin bars underneath it, that's really the level that held 260.54. Then we have another level holding right here, right, which is really important because if you see a W or a double bottom, it's important to see, okay, where was the resistance on that level, creating the double bottom. And then you'll see here, MDB is using that as support. Now, definitely got a level up in this area here, right here. And as you'll notice, I like to look for more interaction on opens and closes and wicks and touches, aka, than I do like where does the top of the wick at, things like that. Like I prefer where's the body at? Does the body interact with the wick? right? And where do I get the most touches on a level? So in these cases, we're able to get about 4 levels out of the weekly chart. Let's move to the daily real quick. See what's coming to fruition on that. Anything else that we can see here as potential moves. All right, so yeah, that double bottom's pretty much confirmed, right? It bled out a little bit here, but for the most part, it didn't really retrace under this 260 level. Boom, that's clean. That's clean. What do you see here?
Oh, sorry. No, it looked like it came out of that double bottom formation that I was in, and it tried to make a move up, and then it started making this falling wedge, and now it looks like it's starting to break the falling wedge and move back to the upside.
Bro.
And it's still got to fill that gap too.
Right. So I look at this and I automatically see a cup and handle. Once again,
Yep.
price action is never perfect in the markets because there's so many things, working for and against any given moment. But, one thing we can easily see here is we have a bit of a cup and handle type formation where we have a rounding bottom right here. And then we've been handling out. Oh, let me bring that back. I'm sorry. But we've been handling out. No, come back. Let me see if I can get it on point. Not quite. But right, we see this rounding type bottom and then a handle starting to form right about here. So I like these kind of moves because there's two things we can dictate, a measured move based on. So the first one would be, of course, this handle right here. So just like that head and shoulders, I think we talked about earlier, the same thing is true with a cup and handle, where there's two types of measure moves. There's the cup, and then there's also the handle. So usually what I'll do is I'll wait for a break of the handle, which that break looks like it's about, what's this price point right here? Like 391. Right. So our handles in this area, 385, 391 area. That's the top of this resistance here. Since that, right, and then we had this rage, it pulled back right to about 325. So in theory here, right, we got a little bit of a gap, 375. We got a couple touches at this level right here. Quite a few touches actually. All right, tried to get up, ignited above at that level. All right, so I like this 375 level, honestly. 375 could test 381, 392. And if it breaks the cup and handle, that's really where we get into some nice profits. This is 75 points, just about 65 to 75 points just in the handle. Right, so if I projected that up, 392 plus, let's say about 65 points. What is that? 450?
Yep. It's a big move.
All right. That's yeah, before resistance, about 448, 450 area. And then of course we have, this cup, right? This rounding bottom formation here. Which, is about that 385 to 260. Those are 80 points. Right? So 385 plus 80. What is that? Almost 500?
Yeah, that's 460. It's
Boom.
a big move.
Right. So we got some levels in here that we could definitely see some potential to just in, measured move calculations. Right, where we can get the 450 type move and then possibly, the 496 close to 500, coming out of this. And that's just in a cup and a handle formation. You see anything interesting on NDB? when it comes to the options chains?
Yeah, the chain. There's something really irregular about the. I'm looking at the 430 call and the 440 call. They're both under $2, and they're both really close in open interest. They're both over 400. And if you look at the rest of the chain, there's not a whole lot of
August
activity
20th?
going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
There's not a lot of activity going on around that. And it's like, okay, that's kind of far out the money with a month to go, 25 days. So what's so interesting about these two that they're so similar in open interest?
All right,
Which
yeah.
means somebody's already
Aside from
posted
this
a contract.
concentration at the money,
Yeah.
yeah, that's clean. And I like the
Yeah.
spread on the 430s. Nice spread. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
got
super tight.
about 25 points, which isn't too bad, versus this, which is about 40 points. So I think of any of those, I like I like this move right here. Yeah, I like the 430s. If it decides to make a move on that, definitely. All right, so
And if you peep the history of the contract itself, these contracts dipped under $10 just a month ago. So if this starts running, these get anywhere near in the money, they're going to be back over 10. That's a 10x.
that's 10x. That's 10x.
10x. Yep. So you
That's
get five
crazy.
of these, and they go from $1 to $10 or $15 in a month, and they just barely getting the money. Then you're gold.
Yeah, that's 500 to 5,000.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And all you got to do is just buy them and just chill for a little bit.
All right, buy him and hold him. Right, let this guy move. Yeah, MDB looks like it could have a really bullish move brewing up. Right, a TTM hasn't even fired zero line. Right, hasn't even moved to blue yet. So this is an early move. But if you look at relatively where it is, to be this high and not have fired blue yet, that means that there's a breakout waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Right. That
And
means it does fire blue and can sustain it. Right. This kind of move from that, right? Yellow to blue and then yellow to blue. That can actually, this is a realistic profit target. These 477s, 496, 453s, these areas up here are very, very viable. That's crazy. Oh yeah, that's a gold mine. I like the TTM multi-snipe. All right. Next up, ABNB. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. So as we can notice, we've had a bearish trend line coming through so far that I've even drawn it. Looks like we're trying to test it again. So as you'll see here on ABNB, we've had one test. I mean, we've had multiple tests of this trend line. Every single one of them failed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we'll see what happens with this one. But nice volume shelf starting to build on it. You know, since ABNB has been starting to move this year. But as you can see, it's still been very bearish. But we'll see that selling pressure is starting to resolve itself a little bit again. It recently did that same move here, but that didn't get it through the bearishness. But now, as you'll notice, it took a long time for this guy to test, wait, test. Now it's testing in a very short interval of time, right? If that's 3 tests in what usually would have taken it the time to have 1 test, right, over here, and it's had 3 back to back, and then most recent one this past week. So that tells me that bulls are trying to get this to move and get out of its bearish trend line. Any DD or anything you have for Airbnb? Anything you got so far, GS, on Airbnb?
Oh yeah, my bad. I was on mute. Sorry. But I was saying I'm looking at it on this daily time frame, and it's just You look at the RSI, it's very oversold, and all the selling pressure just been building up. Like it made a nice H base, and it's been basing out, consolidating for basically since May. So we're going on 2.5 months of it consolidating. That selling pressure is going to decrease, then it could start making the move back towards 155, 154, 160 level.
Yeah, right. And so that H base you're talking about, right? So we'll see this H type pattern. We had heavy selling pressure, prices move back up, and then we also see that it started to create a bit of a lower low or higher low. I'm so sorry, right? If we look at these two lows, right, we have a higher low starting to form. So that tells us that this is, becoming a base where price action could potentially move to break out of this consolidation towards the upside because, sellers tried to bring it down, and now we're moving to a place where we're creating higher lows. And so if this kind of move can continue where the higher lows get higher, the next thing you know, this guy's breaking over this volume shelf here and, trying to test some of these levels that we have, 161 to 165, 175, and rounding out, this move here. So I definitely like this. I like looking at the TTM squeeze, looking at where the RSI is, where it has so much upside on the RSI, so much upside on TTM squeeze that's untouched, to where if it can decide to get bullish, it might be worthwhile. And then I like this level right here, this trigger of 141.44. I figured that can get you into the 150s, right? If it breaks that 141, 142 level, getting into the 150s ain't gonna be too hard for it. You see any strikes you like on the 820s for that? We're gonna focus on 820 strikes for. Dang,
Yeah,
24,000 open interest,
it is dense, bro. It is dense,
bro. 24K
Yep.
on the 155s.
That
That's
was the one I was
nuts,
about to tell you. Yep.
bro. What? That's just, let me just get in with the whales and just kick it for a second. What?
I was
Bro.
gonna say same thing with the 150s, 6,600.
Nah,
Even the
nothing's trumping 24K.
Oh yeah,
Especially because this, you know what I mean? The amount of premium you paying, I'm gonna pay 220 or 330. Like that's $100. Like that's not a lot of money unless you have a lot of money you're putting into the trade. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like that's a whales type move to take two strikes out for $100 cheaper to get, about 4 times more contracts.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. And that's 152. Yeah, those are
With the
152s, right?
No, with the 24,000, that's the 155.
155. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just seeing that like relative to our move here. And you see where they're referring to. Right? They're
Above the
taking the
shelf.
break it, right? They're taking the higher low, right? To test the top of the channel. They want this move here. Area value right here.
Yep.
That's amazing, bro. We definitely got to keep some eyes on that. And I like the trigger of 141.44. 141.44. That's a good number to trigger this to do what it needs to do. Yeah, I'm probably gonna set a conditional order for those. Just I want in. I want the move too. I ain't trying to miss the whales. That looks amazing. Good eye, my friend. All right. What's next? We got A, B, and B out the way. Fubo.
Fubo.
And we're gonna keep these on the macro
one.
moves, all right? We're gonna keep these on big time frames so we could capture, the potential for as much of the move as we can. I got already see Fubo right off the jump. We got cup, handle, just in this move right here. You see it too?
Yes, sir. Fubo is another one that's just been consolidated and kind of stuck for a while.
handle. Okay, so this TTM Ulti-Snipe, it picks these up all the time. It's not even anything new anymore. It picks these right dips and then retrace to a certain level, so it's pulled back, but the selling pressure is starting to recede, right? Which means you can test, potentially the top of the cup and handle level, and then possibly take it through to touch, different levels of higher support or resistance in this case, lower support or higher resistance. So I like this kind of a move for Fubo. So we got 24 to 34 in the handle. So 24 to 34, that means that if this handle breaks, it can get to what? 40, 44. Right? We're going to take, all we're going to do here is project the handle upwards, right? So the handle, top of the handle 34, where the handle based out was 24. That's 10 points in this channel here. So I can project that 10 points up, right? And you have my 44 level as a potential profit target, as a conservative profit target. And then also we have this cup from 14, 24, 34, 44, 54, right? Because the cup itself, this move here, just to go down and round about, that move right there was 20 points. So you got a 10-point handle, 20-point cup, right? And so I could potentially say, could it get 10 points if it breaks this level? Yes. Could it get 20 points if it breaks that level? Yes. What might trigger my entry to take a move? Well, let's look at our levels here, right? I love this ignition here. Same ignition here. Same tried to ignite here, fell there, right? So there's something in this level right here, and it's probably going to lie at 29. Let's call it 30, just to be a psychological round number, right? So I essentially, what I'm saying here is I could take, the break of 30 for a bigger move to 34, 44, 54. On a more quicker scalp, I could take the break of 28 to 30, right? That's almost a, when you're talking about a $30 stock, 3 points is 10%. All right, so we want to take those things in consideration. I could take a 10% move that could pay for my options contracts to take, a potential move to 34, 44, and even $54 just on this cup and handle type formation here. We got anything in the chains though, bro? Anything you see?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of activity in this chain as well. The 30 strike right on the money has 7,700 OI. And the high of that was $34 back in February.
All right, and these are August 20th, right on the nose at the 30s, 77K, right? You'll pay about $2 for that. Oh, look at these 13K for the 35s.
Yep, I was about there. 35s, the 32s.
Man, look at this 12K for the 45s.
Yep.
Why are these all at the levels that we decided? Look at these, the 45s, the 50s. Why are these all at the levels that we just identified in this chart?
Right.
Like, look at it. It's all the levels we identified, the 35s, the 45s, right? Our 50s, 55s. Bro, somebody's stacking this up. Somebody sees what we see with this cup and handle move and says, okay, this move could potentially hit these levels up here with a great volume shelf right here currently, right? To where if we get over into these 30s, moving to 34s, 44s, 54s, 64s could happen fast, right? Look at these candlesticks that come over 30. All right, a lot of these candlesticks over 30 or under 30 were very big candlesticks. So these are violent moves that can happen over 30. I like this a lot. 30 to 34, clear most of the position, right? To or through, right? So I'll clear most of the position if I take this. you know, at about this 34 level. But then, you know, there's nothing wrong with leaving runners to potentially try to get this, especially if you get out into 820, right? Because this could easily get you into these levels here with a healthy move. Anything else you see with Fubo?
Yeah, it's basically just the whole chain. The whole chain is stacked. So, like you said, somebody's seeing the same thing that we're seeing, and they're stacking up all the calls because I mean, all of these, even at the money, is less than $2. If you want to go a little further out and get the 35s, those are less than $1. You know, you get 10 of those, and then they go back to where they were a month ago. They were $8 a month ago. So,
Man, bro, that's 10. That's what, $1,000 turning to 8,000 more.
Yep.
Bruh, telling you, that's beastie. All right, lastly that came on is a Blink. All right, so let's see what we got going on with Blink. So Blink's had a bullish move. Have pulled back ever since. Yeah, it kind of took a little bit of a beating. Oh, blinky. All right, but we can definitely see we have a bit of a descending triangle here. And I'll change the color of these in just a second. But you know, with the bullish move it had, you can't call this anything but a bull flag unless you're just a bear. Then you'll call it, you know, whatever you want. But this definitely is kind of bull flaggish with the price action that it had to get to this level. Yes, it has consolidated since then, pulled back, kind of traveled in a bit of a channel.
Yeah, it's been in a nice price channel for about since March, really. In between about 25 and about 45. It's just been in a price channel. So you damn near take it where it's at now to the top of the channel to about 40. Top of the channel is about
44,
46.
right?
Yeah, about 45, 46, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, so I was drawing some levels on it just as you were saying that. Yeah, and exactly. We got a base kind of around this 30 or 29, $30 levels where our base is. A high in this channel is around 44. All right, this kind of area right here. For me, I go for touches more than where the wicks, you know, where the high have. Right, so we'll see here, touch, cut through this price action, touch, right? Or price action on daily, open and close at this level, right? So that's one, almost two, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wick here, you know, almost, we'll call that one 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So it's 15 points on this 44 level that price action has had an interaction with and either ignited, held as support, ignited off of, right? Held, you know, moved down as a resistance, got up, moved down, right? Moved down on, right? So I look for points, bro, and touches. Like, I don't care about too many, like, okay, the wick was here. I want to know, okay, if I'm looking at this chart, where do candlesticks interact with it the most? And that's right at this 44 level, that 44, 10, 44, 1 level. So I like this to potentially take above 35.8, right, into the top of this channel, right? Because if you look at this channel and the way it's been moving, right, it's been a bit of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Right, you see where it comes from with that? When you're playing in channels, you just look for, you know, what's part of the cycle you're in. Now, am I saying that it's going to break this 44.10? No, because it's spent plenty of time using it as resistance. If it does break it, cool. But if not, being able to just capture, from 35 to 44, once again on a that's 20% move on a $30 stock.
Yeah, you're holding options contracts with a 20% move in the stock. You watch how your premium
huge, humongous,
jump
right?
like crazy.
Yeah, and one of the things that's been advantageous with the Democratic president is that they want to spend money on green energy and things like that. There's been a lot of talk about investing in the EV space, whether it's chargers and things like that. And then lastly, just to look at a bigger macro move on this, we do have our base of our triangle, which is from, what is this, 30 to 64. All right, so that's about 35 points. So a break of this level right here from 44 could see about 75 to 80 potentially, just with that 35 points in this base breaking out.
Yeah, and it was a good thing you brought up the Democrats, because the infrastructure bill is about to get passed. And EVs and charging stations are a big portion of what is in that bill. So with that being said, I would not be surprised to see that entire sector start getting some money flows within the next month. So these, what were we looking at? The 35 strike, the 41 strike, and the 50 strike. These are going to start getting a lot more inflows as we start hearing more chatter about, what's in the infrastructure bill, is getting passed right away, and what's going on with that. So
boom. Yeah, overall this looks like a healthy spot and a healthy play, to be able to take advantage of. I might even be willing to look at some leaps and things like that for this. Anything you saw on leaps, just to before we finish up with this, any potential leaps that you have on Blink?
Yeah, so I was looking at where was I looking at? I was looking at the January 2022s. It's got a lot of activity as well. Most of the chain is getting a lot of inflows. The on the money 30 strikes have almost 900 OI. The 35 has 1,000. The 40 has 2,400. The 50 has 2,500. The 60, basically every whole number all the way down to 90. And the 90 has 2,800 OI, and it's only 20.
Boom. What do we just talk about? Seeing it potentially
like 25 cents.
Get to 85, 90?
Yeah.
We just talked about, right? So this is what I like to see. I like for my technical analysis to be backed up by other people who are hopefully smarter than me. Right, to where I can see things like this, see potential, identify a real life trigger that says, okay, if this, then this, has potential to happen. And then I love the TTM ULTISNIPE because it allows us to find plays where the bearish momentum is still heavy, but it's loosening up. Right, to where if it potentially gets to the zero line of the TTM squeeze, I can take most profit. Usually that would be around this level right here of consolidation. And then if it goes through the zero line, right, if it fires blue, well, then usually you can see the test of the higher levels. And meanwhile, you're cozy in there, and the initial move paid for everything, whether it decided to turn blue on the TTM squeeze or not. So this is just another chance to be able to dive in on some high level technical analysis, kind of break down how some of my edges hopefully can help you to have your own edges, and how I look at things with the perspective that that allows me to really just honestly win in the markets because of indicators, price action, and having things that line up with kind of what I'm seeing. So I'm not just running a biased approach, but it actually is backed by price action and actual evidence in, you know, the moves that other people are making, that say that there's potential. So let's just keep an eye on these tickers. I'm excited to see where some of these contracts end up closing at the end of you know, September. You know, after hindsight is 2020, but you know, use some of these entries and these triggers, see if they apply to you, and if so, you know, let's make some money on these tickers, man. What do you say, GS?
Yes, sir. 100%. Because I'm seeing a lot of plays here, and a lot of them look like, you know, possible 5Xers, possible 10Xers. Like a lot of these look really good.
Right, with very low risk, right? The buyers ain't even looked at these yet, right? Meanwhile, if they come to fruition, your contracts will be in demand, and that's what we look for.
Yeah, liquidity for sure is gonna make some of these go. So,
boom, amen, amen. All right, with that said, thank you guys for joining us, you know, giving us your time of day. We're going to be in the markets live tomorrow. We have 0 day with SPX. We've had some volatile weeks, you know, moving to this point. We're expecting nothing less, and we will make money whether the stock market goes up or down. Don't really matter. When you have an edge that works for you, you just play your edge. So we're going to be doing that in the morning. Make sure you join us. We'll be in the Discord, trading at least from market open till around lunchtime or so. So link with us, man. It's worthwhile. GS, I'll be seeing you in the morning, bro.
Yes, sir. Everybody have a good night.